Good, whatever time it is right now, y'all. Today, I am showing off a nice game of Walking Nurse I had in Dead by Daylight. This is where I use the Matchbox add-on to remove a blink and give Nurse 4.2 meters per second movement speed, and then just refuse to blink. This is 105% the speed of the player, making it not only the slowest killer in the game, but one without a power. Or so we think. Nurse is generally the strongest killer in the game. The very idea of her is terrifying to survivors. How will they deal with us floating menacingly at them? And so, here we are, loaded into the Eyrie of Crows. It is now time to go find our friends and go say hi. They will warm up to us in due time, I'm sure. Honestly, we found someone sooner than I expected. Most of the time survivors are in the last place I look. Alright, while we jog some laps, let me talk about my perks a bit. First, I have Bamboozle, because Bamboozle Nurse is funny, and is actually legit good, even if you can blink. Next, I have a Totem combo, Haunted Grounds, and Undying, so that as I do them during the game, I have chances to one-shot down survivors. They also help at the endgame, because either the survivors are exposed for multiple minutes and have gotten my value, or they haven't done any of the other totems yet, and I basically have unstoppable exposed in the endgame. My hope is to clear the pallets from an area so that I can chase these people there with no ed and get downs. Honestly, I don't know how that hit, but I will take it. About par for the course with me as a nurse, if I'm going to be honest. My goal with the mind games here is to make it so that they don't get as much distance and have to drop the pallet immediately, to save on the time waste of walking in circles. For some reason though, people sacrifice themselves to me, and I don't always need to mind game. I think it is by this point they realized I'm not playing the strongest build, and just fuck around going full altruism, which means many free hits around the pallet. These guys are sneaky though, I definitely have to watch out. That guy almost got me. By this point, I needed to down outside the pallet, because I know there's a 0 chance I pick up safely. Luckily I got the drop on someone. Honestly, this is when I like playing killer the most. I get steamed at the survivors, especially when they taunt you. Here, it is just in good fun. They wanted out, I couldn't stop them. A game of one-upping each other instead of a game about who can inflict the most psychological damage and come out ahead. Reminds me of our society today. A business will thrive not when it is the most effective at bringing something new to the table, but when it is the most effective at dismantling any adversaries. A monopoly is infinitely more rewarding than improvement when our systems are built on giving resources to systems in proportion to our dependence. Look at US healthcare. That's the goal of every single capitalist. And maybe creating a class of people with that goal and the means to achieve it is the problem, and not the fact that they go along with it. Speaking of healthcare, let's get back to nurse. I keep moving from target to target, hoping someone makes a mistake and lets me get a second in. In this situation, survivors seem to have their guard the lowest right after a hit. Likely because my follow-up game is non-existent. Unfortunately, my undying is what goes first, and that is the worst case scenario in terms of my perks. That is fine though, because I'm slowly creating a dead zone on the shack side of the map, and I'm chasing someone towards it. Well, until I read my mind and do a 180, that is. I'm afraid to admit this, but I imagine I'm driving a car when I'm playing Walking Nurse. Just feel like I'm holding one of those Mario Kart wheels out in front of me, just slowly zooming towards them, and occasionally step on the gas when I get bloodlust. Anyways, I now have gotten 2 hooks. Honestly, y'all should be impressed by this. And somehow, I managed to top that too. I zoom right over to an injured person and managed to bump right into them. At this point, there's only one generator left, so the game is very close to over. But I still have my ace up my sleeve. Alright, everyone is injured, and all the gens are done. Even if they heal up, I have no ed, so I think I can at least get a kill or 2 here. These players are very coordinated though, so it might be difficult. Luckily, the Neo used their dead hard early and went into an open area. On top of that, we have basement to work with. That gives us just a little bit of a boost. I like the basement on this map, as killer at least. If you keep that window here blocked, it only has one direction in and out, so you can easily hold it. 3. Luckily, Dania used their dead hard early and went into an open area. On top of that, we have basement to work with. That gives us just a little bit of a boost. I like the basement on this map, as killer at least. You can keep the window here blocked, it only has one direction in and out, so you can easily hold it. So, I want to pay attention to that, this totem by me, and the exit gate. With this, I can make sure there is absolutely no easy way out of this. On top of that, they hit haunted grounds, so even when they do get nowhere, I will still be able to easily down them. It is now too late for anyone else to do anything. Looks like this game is over with 2 kills. While this ending may not be too exciting, it shows that moving slow and steady will always get you a kill or 2. I think Walking Nurse is great to practice mind games. I didn't record them, but I had a few games on stream where I had to do some nice moves at LT walls consistently in order to get downs. It is definitely good practice for that, as only optimal movement is going to cut it. I did this for a few games, and then going back to Trapper felt like a dream. In this clip, I have just took someone, and I'm moving away from it, looking for my next target. Haunted Grounds has popped once already, and I'm hoping it will again. We already have someone dead, but I want to see if the survivors can come back from this, and so I'm in no hurry. They healed, underhook, and finish just as I make it back. This is fine by me, because it is likely the fastest I would find a new chase, and allows the action to resume. You can tell by the head nodding and position that they know exactly what is going on, and are enjoying themselves as well. Not only is this good practice, I haven't encountered much toxicity. Much more of this than any build before it. In this clip, we are just starting out the game and find some survivors right away. This is a good example of bamboozle value. This clip is part of the same game. The players stayed around the boat quite a lot, and have done quite a few saves on each other. This has caused them to get sloppy, and means I can keep multiple occupied at once. Then they give me the perfect Haunted Grounds activation, and I manage to get multiple downs on healthy people. And so the game suddenly swings in my favor. Since survivors are much more likely to overextend and put themselves into this position, I get to practice it more often. Learning to know when to take your winnings and leave the table is an extremely important part of this game. Showcased here by leaving the guy after he dead-hearted to a safe area and getting back before the survivors can pick themselves up, and I'm left with nothing. A few seconds can make the difference between all the pressure and none. This is a game of timing. And here is our second to last clip. We had an early DC, so I'm mainly just fucking around. The second they saw me, they noped out. Here I am, trying to figure out if it's possible to mind game this palette. I know it is a really safe one, especially on a slow killer, but who knows? Might as well try new things. Is it working? No. Do I care? Well, also no. Ah, wait, I actually got a hit. Never mind. This is great, and you should try this every single time you play the game in the future. And here is a nice jump cut to a later stage in the game, when I got a nice no-wet activation. Someone opened the door and got out immediately. Good on them. Unfortunately, this one won't be so lucky. I will make it to them before they cease to exist. Megan ends up running deeper into the map. A risky play, but they might just pull this off. My decision is to play double or nothing and go looking for them. My first instinct is that they might be waiting to the side, hoping to get an unhook while I go check on the other door. I did not find them there though, so I decided to check in the other direction. The gate is not open, and so I have a good chance of getting the down. I miss a swing thinking they are going to vault though, and give them a chance. And well, it looks like that chance isn't quite enough. Time to get them hooked and call it a game. Ah, wait, sometimes you just get outplayed. 4%ed. Luckily, they didn't quite get to the other hook in time, so that's only one escape. Alright, well, that was a fun game and some nice clips. I hope you all had a good time. Make sure to put your clothes away if you haven't yet. Stream over at Twitch under @RosethornRanger and have other social media in the description. Come hang out.